What's up, guys? We are going to take another look at a new Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Wave 2 Mantis Wave figure. This is the figure that does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece. We have got Death's Head 2, and we've got our logo, we got our figure, we got some artwork on the side, and then we've got the figure on the back, lineup, and Mantis over there on the left. Artwork is the same on the other side. So let's crack this guy out and take a look. Alright, so here's Death's Head 2 out of the package, and was really surprised when I saw that this guy was going to be made into a figure. He is pretty obscure. I think he is anyway. Maybe he's been brought back more recently in a different manner, but even back when he was kind of current, he still wasn't in the forefront of comic books. He was still pretty obscure. Not to mention the fact that he comes from Marvel UK in the 90s, so that's pretty obscure in my book. But I had some pretty fond memories reading the comics this guy came from and the original Death's Head, and I specifically remember having the Marvel Universe card with him on it, and I absolutely loved it because I was big into cards in the early 90s. So we'll do a quick history lesson for this guy because, like I said, I think he's pretty obscure, so you know others might as well. So he is Death's Head 2. Obviously, there's got to be a Death's Head 1, and there is. Death's Head was created in the late 80s for Marvel UK, and he was like a robot bounty hunter type thing. This guy actually, his real name isn't technically Death's Head 2. He's not the second Death's Head. His real name was Minion. He absorbed the personalities of like 100 different beings from across various realities, one of which ended up being the original Death's Head, so he becomes Death's Head 2 in that regard. But that's about it. He was created in 91 or 92, like I said, for the British Marvel imprint. So he's a interesting character. I think he's obviously pretty weird looking. So we'll take a look at the figure overall and see what he's got going on. For comparison's sake, because he is the biggest figure in this wave, we're going to show him next to Colossus from the recent X-Men wave. Not just because of, size reasons, so you can see he's got some bulk to him, but because he shares the same body. And as far as I can tell, the whole thing is the same across the board. So you can even tell, look at those arms. They're the same arms, just with a slightly different paint job. So I think they make good use of the Colossus body with this figure. Not just because the body is good, but because this figure is pretty big. He should be huge. He is a large character. He is a big, hulking, strong character, capable of taking on the likes of the Thing and Hulk. So I think they did right by this figure in terms of what they did with using that body. So we'll take a look at articulation first. Head can swivel. It is on a ball hinge, but the hair is going to hinder that quite a bit, as you can see. Arms go up and out. Just chipped off some plastic. Arms go out. Swivel all around. Bicep swivel. We've only got a single jointed elbow here. Wrists are on a hinge with a swivel. The other arm, obviously, is the same way. The only difference is that there's no swivel here. His gun does not move. There is a crunch. He goes back a little bit, not too much, and forward quite a bit. There is a waist twist. The belt here is a floating piece, and it'll hide that seam pretty well. Legs go out just a little, not a whole lot. They go forward about full 90 degrees, and then back a slight bit. Thigh cut. Double jointed knees. There is a boot cut, which the seam is hidden pretty well because it's hidden in these line work pieces here, which is nice. So you can't tell it's there if you're not moving it. And then we've got a hinge and a rocker on those feet. Now, as far as sculpt goes, that's really where this guy shines. So he is the Colossus body, but he's got a bunch of sculpted pieces on top of it. You've got these pieces down here. We've got the spines coming out of the boots. We've got the bands on the wrist. We've obviously got this humongous gun with a ton of kind of techno-organic detail in it. I mean, it's just this is a big 90s looking weird space type gun. And I think they did it really well. A lot of spines and spikes and tendrils and cables and all kinds of junk in there. And then we've got that head, which I think is, outside of the gun, is the big draw for me. I always thought this guy looked just really badass and menacing. He's got the long hair, which is kind of Predator-esque almost, kind of like tendrils. We've got the horns that are front facing. They're not articulated. They don't move. They're not supposed to. And then he's kind of got like a half beaten up face with the musculature of the jaw showing there. And then he's got that molded gold plastic for the rest of the helmet, or like the skull, really. So I think they think they nailed the head sculpt on this guy. It's really cool. As far as paint goes, there's quite a bit here. So we'll go down to the feet to start. We've got the gold bands. Those are painted. Not the spines. Those are molded plastic, and then those are affixed to the figure. We've got the belt, which is painted as well, with the kind of same color as the hair. We've got the hair, obviously, is painted. The gun has a wash all the way through it, and you can see the gradient of the coloring there. And then we've got the arms are the same color, or the biceps are the same color as that part of the gun right here. We got these bands painted. The face is obviously decked out in paint. There is 2 different colors for eyes, because he has one kind of cyborg eye and one more humanoid eye. There is shading around the eyes. We've got shading in the gums, the teeth. The horns are painted, and then the top of the head is painted as well. And then, of course, the flesh tones. So I think they did a really good job. For a figure that I was really, kind of confused as to why they picked him, I'm really glad they did. I think he turned out really well in this regard. And he does come with an accessory. It's not a great deal, but he comes with a pointing finger for his left hand. So just, pop it out and put this one in, and you've got a very odd looking pointing finger. I think that finger is crooked up a little too much. Maybe, I don't know, kind of like that. I don't point like that. Do you? No, point like that. So I don't know if I'll use it or not, but we'll certainly take some pics with it. All right, so overall, I think it's pretty obvious. I like this figure. I'm again finding myself buying a Marvel Legends figure that I'm partial to in the character, so I'm kind of biased in that regard. But I tend to only buy Legends for figures or for characters that I like and I want. I'm not a completionist in any capacity. So this guy, I've got some memories of. For whatever reason, I like the character. I think he looks cool, so I had to buy this figure. And he's actually pretty good. He uses that really cool Colossus body, awesome head sculpt, awesome sculpt on that gun, lots of paint detail. So I'm really pleased. And I would suggest getting this figure, even if you don't know who he is. He's going to look really cool menacing on your shelf. So that is going to do it for this review, everyone. As always, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.